this universe is managed by the powerful law of attraction. And what that means is, when you offer a vibration, what matches it comes to it. So can you even begin to imagine? It's not easy for you from your physical format. What must be amassing around the source energy part of you? The part of you that only focuses upon love and well-being and expansion. Can you imagine what that vortex of creation must be like that is swirling? That's what eternity is based upon. It is physical beings coming forth and exploring and knowing what they don't want, and then more clearly sending a vibrational rocket of desire about what they do want. And when that rocket of desire emanates from you, the source part of you receives that rocket and becomes it vibrationally and literally, and holds steady to that newly amended asking eternally. And when that occurs, law of attraction then begins to amass all compatible components. So hear this. So here you are, billions of you, banging around together, knowing what you don't want, sending out rockets of what you do want. So let's say your planet's in a bit of upheaval, maybe economic, which causes you to ask for more stability. Maybe ecological, which causes you to ask for more stability. Maybe some of the peoples of your planet are warring, making you ask for more harmony. So as you are asking, billions of you, for more stability, for more well-being, for more harmony, the source energy part of you is receiving each and every one of those requests and holding it as the eternal promise of your future. And this is the part that we really, really want you to hear. Law of attraction responding to those requests. Law of attraction responding to that focused, pure asking. Law of attraction's response is causing an assembling of all cooperative components. This is something that most of our physical friends have a hard time wrapping their thoughts around, because you are so physically oriented. You are so accustomed to looking at the knock on wood, what I can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, aspects of your environment, that you miss sometimes altogether the fact that you are, and everything else is, and everyone else is, a vibrational being. Everything is vibrational. And so when these rockets of desires emanate from you, leading edge creators out here on the leading edge of thought, when those rockets of desires emanate from you, source receives them and becomes them, and a vibrational vortex of creation is assembled. We're not kidding you. It must happen. It always happens before there is ever any physical manifestation. When you try to tell the story of how your earth came to be, you're not even close to understanding that everything is vibrational first. Everything is thought, focused thought. And when focused thought is held longer, it becomes form. It becomes the material, manifestational world that you know. So when we speak to you today, all day, and we will, about these rockets of desire and about this vibrational vortex of creation that is assembling on your behalf, we want you to understand that this is not some airy-fairy metaphysical talk of some dead person who understands vibration and is trying to make some fairy tale to make it easier for you to understand the concept of it. This vortex, this vibrational vortex, is a reality that is the precursor of everything that you know to be reality. It's not something to be sloughed off. It is vivid and real. What you are asking for has been answered and is done. And all cooperative components have been vibrationally assembled. The question that you really want to ask yourself, am I, in my physical body, having banged around and having known what I don't want and having asked and asked and asked and asked, and now source and non-physical and law of attraction have assembled all cooperative components? Am I a cooperative component? Am I in a vibrational stance that this vortex can take me in and show me the answer, show me the answers to my questions and the solutions to my problems, show me the manifestations to what I have carved out of my life experience? And the answer is held in the way you feel in any moment in time. If you are full of love, you're in the vortex. You're in the vortex and you are seeing the obvious unfolding. The next logical step just keeps showing up for you. You're in the right place at the right time. You rendezvous with the right people. You're having fun along the way. New ideas keep being born. You never have a moment's doubt. You are knowing who you are. You are feeling the confidence of your being. You are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You're in love with life. You're in love with others. You love yourself. You're thriving in all possible ways. You're in the vortex. But if you're not in the vortex, if you feel fear, you're not anywhere near it. If you feel hate and anger, you're not anywhere near it. If you're overwhelmed, you're not anywhere near it. Well, you're closer, but still not close enough to get in it. When you feel hope when you feel hope, you're on the brink of being inside this vibration. When you feel hope, in fact, this vortex of attraction is strong enough that in hope, which has very little resistance in it, the vortex will take you in and show you something so vivid that your hope will move right to belief immediately. And if you can sustain belief, then you can sustain being in the vortex. And when you sustain a period of time of being vibrationally aligned enough that you are allowing yourself, by law of attraction, to be inside this vortex, now things are showing up for you. And people who are watching you, whether they're in the vortex or not, people are noticing big things are happening with you. They say, why are you the lucky one? Why do you always get what you want? Why do things always work out for you? Why do you sing like an angel? Why do you have clarity? Why does your body move in the way that it does? Why is health yours, always yours? Why are you always vital and alive? Why do you feel so good? Why is your humor so on target? Why do people like to be around you so much? Why are you so loving all the time? Why do you feel so much love from others? Why are you always living the best of life? And if you really want to help them out, you'll say, I figured out how to focus myself by paying attention to the way I feel, close enough to my vortex of creation that it takes me in often and shows me the very good life that I have carved out of all that I have lived. Do you know that you are vibrational beings more than you are anything else? You are so good at interpreting vibration that you see this time-space reality around you, and it has convinced you in your interpretation of it that this is the real world, this world that I can see and hear and taste and smell and touch. This is the real world. And we want you to know that while you are interpreting with all of those senses, that you are interpreting on many vibrational levels of your being. Vibrations abound all around you, and you are the attractor of the vibrations that abound. Now, many argue with that. They say, no, Abraham, I walk into a room and what's there is what I get. And we say, well, have you ever been an eyewitness to something that someone else was an eyewitness to and discovered when you read the reports that you saw very different things, even though you thought you were looking at the same thing? Because who you are and what you believe while you are witnessing it completely colors the way you interpret whatever it is that you see. And if that's true with what you see and hear, have you ever been with a dog who perks up and you say, stop it? But the dog is responding to something vivid that it hears or smells. The other day, Jerry and Esther were in a campground, and a man walked by with a beautiful dog. And as they walked by, the dog turned around and looked in the direction of Esther, could not seem to take its eyes off of Esther. And Esther was so flattered. Esther thought, oh, that dog sees energy. And that dog who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, knows the beauty of my vibrational being. And then Esther got a whiff of what the dog had smelled before her. Someone was emptying their sewer down the way, and the dog smelled it 15 seconds before Esther did. Dogs smell things you can't smell. Dogs smell things you don't want to smell. They interpret differently than you do. Same environment, different depths of interpretation. There are people who can hear things that you can't hear. There are animals that can hear things that you can't hear. You are all, whether you are beast or human or molecule, you are all vibrating beings and sensual, sensitive beings. But you have levels of interpretation that go far beyond your physical senses. And what they are vibrational interpretations. You get impulses to move or impulses to consider. You get impulses that you're picking up from all around you. But this is always true. You never receive an impulse or an experience that is a departure from your vibrational countenance. In other words, you train yourself by living in your environment into your habits of vibrations. And your habits of vibrations are what your beliefs and expectations really are. So, without meaning to, most humans have allowed their environment to train them into patterns of expectation that serve you in many cases and hinder you in others. And this gathering is about learning to utilize your guidance system in order to understand what you're receiving and whether it is beneficial to who you are, who you have become, or whether it is detrimental. Whether focusing upon it causes you to allow the creation, or whether focusing upon it allows you to hinder the creation. It's fun to realize that you are vibrational beings. But before being a vibrational being in your physical body can be very meaningful to you, you have to understand that this physical part that you know as you, that all of your friends have identified through your countenance and your personality, is but a very small part of who you really are. Because while you are in this physical body, there is a larger part of you that is source energy, vibration, non-physical. And that part of you, man has been calling it soul. Sometimes man calls it source or God. But that non-physical part of you is by far and away the larger, dominant part of you. And that part of you knows your well-being. That part of you has been accumulating since the beginning of your existence, and that's so far back we couldn't even begin to define that for you. Since the beginning of your existence, that part of you has been garnering and gathering and focusing upon the very best that your life experience has been able to hone out. In other words, this source energy is a vibrational vortex of well-being that defies physical human description. We just can't give it words, but sometimes your physical senses feel it, and you recognize it as love or appreciation or joy. Those moments of exhilaration are the best interpretation that you ever are able to utilize in order to define this vortex of well-being that really explains who you are. So in those moments that sometimes flash in your experience, where you feel that exhilaration, where you feel that feeling of at oneness, when you feel that satisfaction that is so warm and beautiful that it is like a hug of loves or appreciation from the inside out, when you feel that rapture that you would maybe define with the words well-being, that's a moment when there's no resistance within your physical countenance and you've allowed a perfect blending between you and you. That perfect blending between you and you is what we call allowing. And the art of allowing is just figuring out how to do it. We're not trying to get you to hook up and stay there. You do that when you're only non-physically focused. But as long as you're here in this physical body, you've come with the purpose of exploring the contrast, because the contrast helps you and us to focus. When you know what you don't want, when you worry about your world ecology or your world economy or anything that is going on in your world, personal or broader, when you worry about it, you launch a request for the improvement that matches the degree to which you have worried. So those who worry a little ask for a little improvement. Those who worry in a big way ask for big improvement. And as billions of you are upon this planet in any moment of time, you are contributing mightily to this vortex of creation that future generations will spring forth from. That's why you don't need to worry about your planet petering out or about your world diminishing or about the bad parts of your world taking over. The bad parts of your world cannot take over because the best parts of your world are being synthesized from the mix. And the best parts of your world are going into the vibrational escrow, and Source is holding them, and new generations will be born from that pool of knowledge. That's why when the babies come forth, it takes you a long time to convince them that the world is bad, because they know the goodness of it when they get here, you see. Get into the vortex and milk it for all it's worth and stay there and feel the resonance of it and know who you are. And the more you're in that vortex, the more you become unwilling to hang around outside of it. And the more you're in it, the more you feel the familiarity of it, the more you tune